the director of digital and content marketing at Springbuk. We are about 110 people technology company. We sell to HR, so human resources, benefits directors, managers, VPs, so that they can best select the programs that they provide for their employees in forms of wellness and programs and health insurance coverage and things like that. I have been here just a little over 2 years, and I have 30 years in marketing, almost all of which is at technology companies. And so I have, in that span of time, I have gone from there was no such thing as the internet for companies to now, of course, it's everything. And we're having this meeting on the internet. So it's been quite a wild ride over that 3-decade span, but very interesting. And I love seeing how marketing has evolved over time and new media that are available to us, and how we can make best use of that to communicate our message. I'll start with what the team is right now. So there are 5 of us, including me. We have 2 people who are designers, and one who is kind of a do-everything person. She writes virtually every word of every piece, no matter if it's a blog or an ad or an email or a script for a video. She writes it, or a white paper, an extended white paper. And then she also does a lot of the digital ad placements. And then we also have an email marketer who does formats all the emails, as well as does the sending and the analysis of all that, and is a Salesforce administrator too. So I think we're fairly lean for the size that we are, but we produce, well, up until recently, we produced a ton of content, and that's because when I came in, we had a large content gap. We knew who our ICPs were, our ideal customer profiles, but we didn't have content for many of those different profiles at different stages. So we've spent 1.5 years, almost 2 years, building up content for each of the personas at each stage. But now I know, so just recently, I told my team next year is not going to be about producing content. It's going to be about reinvigorating the content that we already have. It's really solid. Most of it is evergreen, can be used anytime. So we're just going to do some slight tweaks to refresh it. Slap on top 5 reasons you need a benefits program in 2023. Just by adding the 2023, it makes it seem a little more timely, but reduces our work and just keeps everything fresh. I think so many companies, and so I'm going to be one of those companies that says, we have a technical product and it's hard to outsource. And I think a lot of people say that, and in a lot of cases it's very true. That said, we do outsource some of our thought leadership content. So we have outside writers that we go to occasionally for articles that are intended to be print publications. They will interview our subject matter experts, and then they will write it. We will review it, revise it, of course, so that it is technically correct and on point with our messaging. But I have no concerns with outsourcing that type of thing. If it's more product centric, then we keep it in-house. But again, depending on what the project is, another thing that we readily outsource is video production, or we've been doing more kind of animated videos that describe a business problem or a product feature. And those things just take a lot of time, and it's pretty specific skill set to produce a good animation. So we outsource that. We outsource some of our media placement. What's this? Where are the right outlets for us to be, and how much should we spend there? So I work with people who give me recommendations on that. So I think it's a pretty decent mix of outsourcing versus doing it in-house for us. Our CFO and exec leaders give me a number, and here is your number, and it's never anywhere close to what I think I need, right? So, but they say, here's the number that we need to hit in revenue, and here's what we're allocating to you to get us there. And then it's up to me and my boss, who is the chief commercial officer. So she has purview over all of sales and all of marketing. And she also has an extremely strong industry knowledge, which I don't have in this particular industry. So I rely on her a lot to say, these 3 conferences, we must be there and we need to have a big presence. These other 5 conferences, if we have money after we've gone through everything else, maybe we'll look at those and how we participate in them. But those are the kind of the big buckets of, she will help allocate where we need to be extremely visible. But then I have the responsibility for saying, filling in all the other gaps. Well, I know we have an awareness challenge over with this audience segment, so I'm going to spend some money in advertising there and do some email campaigns. But over here, we have really strong awareness. We need to get people to consider us, farther down in the funnel. So maybe I'm going to do some direct mail over to these people. And then we just do our best to track everything via, tracked URLs or QR codes. If it's a direct mail piece, we're starting to use a lot more QR codes or even printed pieces that we take to a trade show, so we can track it back to that specific show and see what the activity has been. And that helps us know, this one worked well, this one not so much. We have evolved that substantially over the last year and a half. Also, we used to have, when I came in, there was a marketing dashboard that had 12 or 14 different metrics on it. And when I looked at it the first 2 or 3 times, I just thought, why are we tracking this? Who cares? And I can't even remember what some of those were now, because they just made no sense to me at all what it was trying to tell. So we have now narrowed it down. We just have 6 metrics, and they are based on how many people we are adding to our opt-in list, because if they opt in, obviously they have said, okay, we want to hear from you. And that's how we can, in this world, it's mostly email still. So if we can't get people to engage with us, it's a very big uphill battle. But so how many people are opting in to hear from us is one. We look at, so we use Google Analytics. We also have another platform called 6 Sense, which is marketing intent data. So we look at how people are engaging with our content, where they are engaging with it, and to what extent. Do they download one piece and then we never hear from them again, or do they continue to come back for a little bit more care and feeding along the way?